attending. I know there's a lot going on in springtime here and a little event up the street here about the 100-year storm. Thank you. Let's see, I guess I'm on camera still. So today we're really focused on the Habitat for Humanity, the property that is at 808 Jerusalem Road. It's a corner of Hull Street and Jerusalem Road, where the old antique carousel store used to be. The property had been abandoned. The town took possession of it, and that property went into the housing trust. And then from the housing trust, they put the property up for sale, and Habitat for Humanity bid on that property and was the winner of the bid for the sole purpose of putting in affordable housing. And the folks here from Habitat could talk to you about affordable housing and any questions you have about affordable housing. There's a lot of misconceptions about what affordable housing is. They can tell you what it isn't really fast. I know I can do that as well, as we discussed in many of our board meetings. So I am the chairman of the Affordable Housing Steering Committee. We have a lot of our committee members here as well. I'm also on the Board of Elder Affairs, which we have a keen interest in affordable housing for seniors as well. That's how I kind of migrated into that role. And tonight we'll have a presentation about 808 Jerusalem. There'll be questions about what Habitat can and can't do, and what the community can and can't do as well. So with that, I'll pass it on to Beth Lyons from Habitat for Humanity.
Well, thank you for coming tonight. We're really happy to see everybody here, and we are really excited to be in Cohasset. This will be our third and fourth project home in Cohasset. So I want to tell you a little bit about us, because I don't know how much you know about our affiliate. So this is our mission statement. Together we build strength, stability, and self-reliance through shelter by partnering with families in need of affordable housing. Next. We're an affiliate of Habitat for Humanity International. So we have to follow all the guidelines that Habitat International provides us. And we are one of 16 in the state of Massachusetts. Next. So we started in 1986 and our affiliate started because a woman and her children went to United Church of Christ in Norwell and asked for help. They had nowhere to live. They couldn't afford anything. So the church put them up in their basement. And what ended up happening was some of the members of the congregation realized that there was a real issue on the South Shore for affordable housing. So they applied to be an affiliate of Habitat International. So since 1986, we have been an affiliate of International. Can you go back one slide? So we have built 63 homes. We are building our 64th and 65th in Hingham right now, and we're hoping to finish those by summer. We serve 32 cities and towns, but we've built in 22 communities so far. And we've helped over 100 adults and 200 children. Okay. So this is the service area. These are the 32 towns we serve. Some of these numbers are inaccurate. I couldn't find the right slide, so forgive me. We finished a house in Westwood, so we have our first in Westwood. Duxbury, we've built 10. Hingham, we're 5? Mm-hmm. 5. And Cohasset 2 on Elm Street. So we're very busy. And one of the things I forgot to do, and I'm going to step back a minute, I forgot to introduce the team at Habitat, so forgive me. So this is Noreen Brown. Noreen is the Director of Project Development. So she oversees the construction department and all of the building, the permits.
Land acquisition. I worked with I work with the towns to identify underutilized town-owned assets and turn them into properties we can build on, kind of like the Affordable Housing Trust, the steering committee here. we've been talking about this project for quite a few years until we got it to a point where we could move along and build on it.
And this is Tamar Shees. Tamar is our Director of Development. And then Janice Richards, who is our Volunteer Coordinator. Our construction crew is not here because they worked all day and they're tired. Okay, next slide. So what is affordable housing? So housing is considered affordable if a family spends no more than 30% of their income on housing. And that's not happening these days. Families are spending more than 50% of their income on housing. When you spend more than 50%, something has to give. Clothing, healthcare, food, transportation. All of those are really important. And when people can afford healthcare, costs go down. You know, there's it just changes how people live and gives them an opportunity for more opportunities. Why is it important? Because without affordable housing, our younger generation and our low to moderate income families will not be able to find affordable places to live. And when you think about it, the town, EMTs, police, teachers, probably can't afford to live in the town. And firemen, you know, if you are a fireman and you live 4 towns over and there's an emergency, that's not a good thing. Next. So housing in the greater Boston area is at its lowest point since the 1950s. Housing costs have increased 6-fold since 1980, which is the largest increase of housing in the nation. Next. In Massachusetts, 1 in 6 households spend more than half of their income on housing. Cohasset. So we did a little research for this project, and home prices in Cohasset are one of the highest in the state. The median rental price for a 2-bedroom home or 2-bedroom apartment is almost $4,000. And the average price of a home is $1.5 million. In order to afford an apartment that's $4,000, you have to earn more than $70 an hour, which is about over $140,000. That's not affordable. And Cohasset has so many wonderful opportunities that these families deserve to explore and learn and have the opportunity to experience them. So our houses are 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths, approximately 1,300 square feet. They're energy efficient, and we build them so they're easy to maintain. We put up our sign today. We're so happy. We're here.
Got a new sign?
Yes, we even bought a new sign for this project. And we will be building 2 affordable homes on this site. And now I'm going to turn it over to Noreen, since she's really running this project.
So as Beth said, this is the design that we have that's been approved. We went through ZBA and all the towns that have looked at this. So this is the 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath colonial. Like Beth said, it's about 1,300 square feet. What it doesn't show is they're actually going to be jogged a little, so they're not going to be side by side. Well, they are side by side, but there's going to be a little gap in them. And then it's a very tight site for anyone who's seen it. So we are hopefully getting sheds in the back. We're going to kind of play with that to see once this all goes in, what that's going to look like. This is a very popular floor plan we have. It's our colonial. 3 bedrooms upstairs, very spacious, living room, kitchen, dining room in the lower level. And the full bath upstairs, and a nice large mudroom for a washer dryer, and first floor bath on the first floor. What's the next one? Oh, this isn't me.
Oh, I'll talk about this. So this is about the Habitat program. So this is how it works. Towns will come to us and say, we have a piece of property and we would like you to apply for this through an RFP. will apply. And just like in Cohasset, so we were able to acquire this property. Once we acquire the property, we put out the application for homeowners, which Noreen also does that. And families will apply, and for Hingham, we got 25 applications,
Roughly close to 30. I think
close to 30 applications. Out of the 34 were qualified.
Well, we have to, yes, the most qualified.
And so how you qualify, and Noreen will go into that, so I won't even get into the details. And then it's our job to start finding materials and services, and we go out to bid. We also get a lot of in-kind donations, which helps us keep the costs down. And tomorrow we'll talk about that shortly. I can tell you in Hingham, the project was a very expensive project because we had to tear down a house. We had to remove like 2,000 cubic yards of soil. And we had so many in-kind donations that we were able to save $150,000 off the construction of the home. So it's very important. And we really count on our corporate partners. The families who are selected, they have to put in, each adult has to put in 250 hours of volunteer time. This is their down payment. So that's per family, that's 500 hours unless it's a single parent. And how do we build these homes? We build the homes with volunteers. We have a construction crew that is incredible, patient, love to teach, and build beautiful houses. And so we have volunteers that come in, and I'll let Janice talk about that later. And then there's a mortgage. So the homeowners will have a mortgage. It's an affordable mortgage, and they will make payments every month, just like everybody else. So they have responsibilities. It's not, there's a misconception that we give these houses away. We do not give these houses away. You have to be qualified, you have to be able to pay a mortgage, you have to have a need, and they will have a mortgage payment. They get to move into a new home that's safe, healthy, affordable. And again, then there's mortgage payments, and those mortgage payments recycle so that we can build more homes. Next. All right, back to you.
Okay, so this program is also monitored by the Department of Housing and Community Development in Boston. And basically, another bonus to these two homes is that the town will increase its 10% of affordability. So we're increasing the housing stock so that you guys are getting close. Actually, you might be at your 10%, I lost track of that. Sorry, you are, aren't you? Right, so now we're helping you maintain that 10%. So we'll add these two homes in because as all these other new homes go up, it'll fluctuate. So basically, to be on the state, to get these homes counted on the subsidized housing inventory, they have to be below 80% of the area median income. The area median income for this area is $140,000. So basically, these homes are the maximum income limits are adjusted per household size. So it gives you an idea of how much income you can earn based on your family size of the same person, 4 people, 6 people. Again, Beth touched on the fact that you have to prove that you have an ability to pay a mortgage. The application for this program is very similar to a mortgage application. Credit reports, employment verification. We touched on the sweat equity, and it's a first-time homebuyer program. So typically it's a first-time homebuyer program. However, there's some exceptions that the state has in place for other, like displaced homemakers. The definition of a first-time homebuyer in the state is that you haven't had your name on a deed in 3 years. So there's a little bit of a variety there. And that we do offer financial workshops. So we try to give people some educational training, financial training before we just set them out to go pay a mortgage. Because a lot of people don't realize that when you buy your house, you fix your house. So we try to get them to plan for the savings and future repairs and costs down the road so they don't just show up one day and realize that they need a new roof, new windows, or such.
Excuse me, and you select the owners long before the house is ready. Obviously, they gotta put 250 hours in. So are they paying any mortgage on something that doesn't exist yet?
No, they won't pay the mortgage until the home is closed.
Okay. But they're
So-
selected well in advance.
They should be selected well in advance. We have not selected the families yet for this home. That application will probably open in the next 30 days. Because of the inflation and the cost of pricing and the interest rates, we're working with some local lenders to get some favorable pricing to make sure that we can keep them down and figure out what our pricing is, because I think we have to bring our price down in order to make it so that they don't pay more than 30% of the area median income. Any questions on that? I mean, we can take questions at the end, or we can just cut, is that okay? We'll just, okay.
I used to be in the assessment's office, so a lot of people are asking me what is their, what the value of their home going to be, so are they going to be assessed at fair market value like the rest of the homes?
They're assessed at the sale price of the affordability. That's the program.
And then how does it work? Do they have to stay in it for a certain number of years before they can sell it, and what's their profit?
There is a cap on the profit, and basically when we close on the homes, the Department of Housing and Community Development figures out what the resale price calculator is. That number will be assigned to the home based on the conditions in the world at that time. And then that number will be applied in the future when they go to sell their homes.
Did you have an idea what the sale price is going to be based upon your?
Probably mid-200s, yeah. Anyone else?
You might want to talk about their in perpetuity.
Oh, yes. So these are, and they can sell it whenever they want. It's like any other home, and they should,
They have to stay in it.
no, and once they get in it, there's no more monitoring their income. So ideally, if they won the lottery, we'd like them to sell it to somebody else, but once they're in, and, nobody manages their finance, nobody looks at their monetary future.
But you maintain an affordable deed, right?
So yes, the deed will be affordable in perpetuity. There will be a deed restriction put on my Habitat, and DHCD adds their own little mortgage language behind that, with no amount on it, so that whenever this home sells in the future, it'll trigger someone to get in touch with Habitat and someone to get in touch with DHCD, so that this home stays on the subsidized housing inventory.
So do the residents in the neighborhood still benefit from the value of the home at market value versus what it sells for?
If I think I understand your question, is it does not lower the value in the area, because an assessor should never comp a deed restricted property with a market rate property. And if anybody has that happen, you can always appeal that, but they're not comps. If there's a deed restricted on the property and that's roughly $250 and your house is 1.5, it should never be comped. And even when we do our comps, we get our, not our comps, appraisals, sorry. When we get our appraisals as part of closing, we make sure we use an appraiser who understands affordable housing.
Right, so the home is always valued and assessed just like all the other homes in town.
Yeah, with a little bit,
You should have somebody who purchased it qualifies based on income.
Yes. And when they go to sell their home in the future, typically we do jump in and help, but we do look for another affordable person, a family or household that is below 80% of the area median income.
So, and when Mary does her assessed values, she will look at that deed, because that, just as you were saying, the deed restrictions and factor there to make that as its own entity, and that will be taken out of the equation.
Yeah.
So the state comes back to her and says, why isn't this home assessed at fair market value of $800,000? And she'll say, right in the notes, line item by line, because he goes through each one, the deed restriction will be right on there. So, because normally they have to be plus or minus 10% of fair market value with the sale price that they would sell it for. And when this one sells regular market value, the state's gonna ask her why, and she's gonna have a line item saying that specific.
Right.
That's
But,
Can they make money on these things?
Yes,
But
yes.
there's like a formula how much.
There is a formula, yeah, and it gets, it's like everybody else. If the market's great, they'll do okay, but if it's not, I don't think they're guaranteed. I've never seen anybody being guaranteed any kind of appreciation, but in the time that I've been here, the market's been crazy anyway, so.
now, the second time around, when these houses are sold, does Habitat get involved in that new person too?
If we're asked to help on the sale, we will.
I mean, as far as the qualifications, you meet X, Y, and Z.
We could get involved, yes, if we're asked, but basically, if the buyer, if the owner thinks they can handle it by themselves, we don't have to get involved, we don't enforce it, we don't just step in and take over. But if the buyer wants help, we will help them.
But I mean, the other way around, to make sure that the owner is making equivalent low money compared to the free market.
Yes, yes, and that will happen because Okay, I see your question, yes. It would either be us or another lottery agent in the area, or somebody through DHCD that can help them. If they reach out to us, we're gonna say yes, we're gonna help them.
But I don't think it should be can help them. I think it should be a requirement, right? To make sure that that it stays affordable housing.
And all that language is in the deed?
Yeah.
Yes, that language in the deed, it will stay affordable, whether they ask us for help, or they ask the town for help, or they ask anybody in the world for help. We'll help, but there's nothing in the
That's
language
restriction.
the restriction will make it will maintain its affordability.
Okay.
Yes, and typically we do help because they do ask us, but they have to give notice to the state and to us if they want to sell their house.
Yeah.
And if they read their deed, that's all in there. But, you know, some of our homeowners stay in the home for 20 years, so when it comes time to sell, typically they call us and say, we're selling, we're moving, or unfortunately somebody passed, what do we do now? But yes, we will help, and it is, all that language is in there to make sure that it doesn't get sold at market rate.
I think I was understanding also part of the question being, how is the eligibility of the buyer?
In the future,
In the future.
you same thing, it has to go to a household below 80% of the AMI.
And who monitors that, I think is the question.
So there's a monitoring agent, typically it's Habitat for Humanity, the town is listed, and DHCD. And all three are supposed to be notified when the home goes to sell. Thank you.
Does it usually work that way, or?
Well, to be honest, we haven't had too many sales over the years, but it does typically. In fact, we just had a sale here in Cohasset. She moved to Canada, I think, so we did work with her to help.
That's nice that we've got longevity in the homes, which is the
Yes.
whole point of the program.
Yes.
Which is really nice.
Yeah. Anything else before I turn it over? No. What's next? Go ahead.
So if the family has some sort of income change, they get a better job, whatever, does that mean they're no longer eligible?
No, there's no eligibility monitoring once they buy the home. So like I said, they could win the lottery and we would hope they'd move.
Yeah.
But there's no kicking them out.
Next slide. You already
I
talked
think we
about
talked about
Okay,
this.
next. You want to?
There's definitely a misconception that they can, profit at market value from it, because everyone keeps saying, oh, that's so unfair. They get a home below market value, and then they can flip it, and I'm like, no, it doesn't
Yeah,
work
there's
that
no
way.
flipping, yeah.
And these are like people like in our community who are really educated, so I think there's just a misconception about that. So that's why I was very curious to come and really see.
It is, yeah, it doesn't, and people have said that, we've had people say, well, that's not fair. Well, it is fair because you're not gonna get a house for $250 right now. Not in Cohasset, not in Hingham, anywhere, pretty much south or southwest of Boston, so.
In Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts. Never mind a new home.
So what does affordable housing do for these families? It leads to improved health because now they can eat healthier. They're not going to McDonald's every night for dinner. Better performance in school. So you think of these children coming and having the opportunity to go to the Cohasset Public School System. What a wonderful opportunity. It decreases reliance on government assistance. They have financial stability because they know this is what their mortgage is. They're not going to be in an apartment and every month their rent, or every year their rent goes up. We have a family who is moving, is one of the family partners for Hingham. And she lives in a home that's 100 years old. The front door doesn't lock. Her two boys live on the other side of the apartment and she lives on one side. The apartment's 600 square feet and she's paying $2,200 a month. It's very sad. She can't drink the water. There's mice. I mean, this is what these families are living in. Community involvement. When they're building with the community, they're part of the community and they feel part of it and they want to be more involved. And it also increases their confidence and self-reliance. We have several families, one whose daughter went to Harvard. We have a family in Stoughton who, she has single mom, has two autistic sons. Both of her sons have gone to community college. So the opportunities are endless. Okay. So I'm going to turn this over to Tamar.
I
It's my favorite part, because we don't build this alone. It's really a community effort to fund and build. I'm so thrilled that our new sign on the property says that to everybody. And there's a QR code on it to say how you can get involved, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about that now. So you can volunteer with us, you could donate gifts in kind, and you could give financial support. I'm going to talk about the last two, but first I'm gonna turn it over to Janice, who is our volunteer coordinator, to talk about how everyone can help, either swinging a hammer or not.
I think if you go to the next slide. So it takes 500 volunteers to build one home. And so it is definitely a community effort. So that's, please tell your friends and neighbors to come by and help us out. Next slide, please. So there's different ways to volunteer. You can certainly come and swing a hammer and help build the homes, but we have a lot of non-construction volunteer opportunities. I have some information over here if you'd like to take that, and it's also on our website. But I'll just give you a few examples of the help that we've gotten recently, that it was tremendous. I had one volunteer, she put together a 13-page list of possible companies in the area that can offer gift in kind, so we'll be asking for their help. I have a group of volunteers. I have goosebumps just thinking about this. So they're making gifts for the family partners in Hingham. One family that Beth talked about, they have two boys that are 18 and 20. And then the other family has.
No, not 18 and 20,
I'm sorry.
18 and 12.
Oh, okay. Sorry. And then the other family has twins, a boy and a girl, and they're 6. And so I put a shout out to invite people to make gifts for them. So when we have what we call the home dedication, which is when they get their home, we'll put together a gift basket. And so we'll put these gifts in the basket. And one gentleman is making stuffed animals, and he sent me a picture of a unicorn that he made for the little girl, and it's just the cutest thing. So, like I said, you don't have to swing a hammer. We had another volunteer, she put together a list of all the schools in the area and the contact people so that we can start engaging the younger generation in our activities. We have many committees where you can help with planning. We had one gentleman walk in last November and he just saved the day because we needed a project manager. The young man who was working with us went on to a new opportunity, and he had 1 foot out of the door, and the new gentleman came in with his 1 foot in the door, and it just really saved the day. And now he is on our board of directors. So it's quite a story. And then we have another volunteer, and she helps with what we call a critical home repair program. So that's another way for us to get involved with the community, is when there are seniors in need of critical home repair. So what she does is she reviews the applications and helps those families. If we can't help them, she helps find resources for them. And then, like I mentioned, we do have committees such as our Family Partner Selection Committee. Tamar has the Gala Committee, which is going to be at the Red Lion Inn on May 11th, which I'm sure she'll talk about. And then one other fun idea is we do have, on our build days, we have what we call the cookie crew. And so you can make baked goods or some kind of snack for the volunteers that are building the house. They have a 10 o'clock break. And then we give them the snacks. And so again, there's just 1,000 ways to get involved. So I hope you come and join us after we break ground in Cohasset. Thank you.
Thank you. We've touched on in-kind gifts quite a bit during our presentation. So really anything that takes to build a house, I'm looking for at this point, whether it be lumber, roofing, windows, doors, flooring, bathroom fixtures, plumbing, etc. This is where we're really looking into our community to see what business owners might be willing to give us either for free or at a discount. Anything that brings that total bill, which I will share with you in a moment, down. But yeah, gift in kind is a wonderful way that we manage our costs. Just gonna switch to the next slide. So what does it cost to build these two homes? $521,522. Yes, it's down to the dollar here. It's a working budget, obviously, but we're at a little under 200,000 at this point. I wanted to give a big shout out to the Affordable Housing Trust in Cohasset. Not only did they donate the property, but they started off with a lovely size donation of $75,000 to get us started. And we use these donations to purchase the building supplies and services we need to get the homes built. That said, we do rely, as Janet says, on 500 plus volunteers for each and every home, and we couldn't do it without them. But next slide. Janice did say, I mentioned this, there's a lot of ways for communities to get involved, whether you go to our website and make a donation or join us at the Red Lion Inn on Thursday, May 11th. We are doing our Framing the Future Gala there. Should be a great time.
Tell them how they can get tickets.
You can get tickets by either scanning the QR code over there or going right to our website. Tickets are $150 per ticket until the 15th of April, and then they will go up to $175 after the 15th, so get them now.
How are you advertising this?
We've sent out invitations, it's on our website. If you go down Main Street, posters are up as of Friday.
Newsletter.
Social media, our website,
Newsletter.
newsletter.
Everything, every way we can think of.
But if you have
So are we missing any
And
ideas?
Justin.
Justin's my new best friend, just so you know, and Lisa's, but I have so many best friends in this room, I can't even count them. But, we can't do this without the help of the community, so, my name is Tamar, I have cards on the table, and would love to grab coffee with anyone to talk about the project and hopefully gain their support, and, hopefully you'll share this with friends, so thank you.
Next. So probably one of the questions you're going to ask is, when are you going to start? That's a good question. We're in the process, Noreen's in the process of getting the plans approved. And once we get the plans approved, then we have to find, we do use contractors for foundations and certain things that volunteers cannot do. So we will go out to bid for the foundations, and we'll be ready to start. So our goal is to start within the next 2 months. And then we'll probably welcome volunteers to the site in August. We've got some groundwork we have to do before we can start framing and letting volunteers jump in and help. We do build on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We do not build on Sunday, so if you're a neighbor, you have Sunday where it will be quiet. And we start building at 8 in the morning and we finish at 3. Okay? So, do we have any questions?
Yeah, if you start 2 months from now, when do you expect occupancy?
Next spring.
Next spring.
It takes us between 9 to 12 months to build a home.
Oh, sorry.
It takes us between 9 to 12 months to build a home, because we build with volunteers and because we have to offer the families enough time to get their hours in. Because don't forget, they have jobs and now they have to build a house. So there's easier ways to own a home, but we try to, we extend our build out to make sure that we can offer enough time. And just to be clear, the plans have been approved. We're just cleaning them up with the architect and just finalizing some minor details.
Okay.
Has Habitat built one of these before, this model?
We're currently building this floor plan in Hingham, just not side by side. They're not touching. So there's single family in Hingham, And they're up and right now, we're on interior finishes, so you can see them if you go with the Hingham site, but we just kind of put them together to make them fit in the Cohasset model.
So the Hingham homes are on Whiting Street. So if you know where Linden Ponds is, if you're heading from Cohasset down Whiting Street, it's on the left-hand side, right before the range. And you'll see them up high, but they are not attached, but it's the same floor plan. Any other questions? Yes? They do have basements, and
There is a plan, yes, right now there is a plan for the basement. We haven't evaluated any kind of ledges over there yet, but sometimes we don't offer full basements based on what's in the ground when we
That's
get
my
there.
next question. Are you blasting?
We have no, at this time, we have no intention of blasting.
we respect the neighbors. And if you ever have any issue with anything, please contact us. We really
That was first, call us first.
call us first, yeah. And we are, all the neighbors, since I've been here for 5.5 years, we've not had a complaint. So, I mean, it's your home, we don't want to disturb you, so. Anything else? Okay.
Quick question about, so if the family size changes at all, do they have to move or can you, I mean, they have a baby or like something, they can stay, right?
Correct. We can't kick anybody out or intend to kick anybody out. We would hope that if they outgrow the house, they'll move on, but sometimes people just are attached to their home, so. This is a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. This is one of our larger floor plans right now. We have built to the Cape in the past and I've decided to rethink that in the future because the first floor there just might not work in the future for a family that that needs to expand.
Yes.
It's 2 freestanding buildings, or should they share a wall?
They share a wall.
Can you go back a little?
I think Tamara, you were saying that you do a lot of soft scaping and hardscaping on the outside to make it really look.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just the house and then gravel.
Right.
There we go.
And I will say, again, Cohasset has been so welcoming and generous. The garden club has already contacted me to see how they might be able to help in the spring of 2024 to make sure the houses look great. Kennedy Gardens has already agreed to help purchase those plants at a discount. So it should be a really lovely yard and environment for these families to, and our neighbors to enjoy.
Anything is better than that lot.
In Hingham, one of the next door neighbor is a fireman in Hingham. And before we had started building and there was a house on that property, he came over with his 2 little girls. And the 2 little girls said, "Could you please find a family with children?" And they've been wonderful neighbors. Anything else? Yes.
So when are the next public events besides the gala? Is there going to be any more events? Is Mary helping out with some spots? I don't know, we're looking at going to the farmer's market.
Yes, I'm glad you asked, Paul. We will have a presence at the annual meeting of Cohasset. I think it's May 1st, if I'm not mistaken. So the town meeting will have a table there so we can answer any questions and promote our volunteer opportunities there. We will have a presence at the farmer's market, which opens on June 8th. Michelle has been wonderful and said we could start every 2 weeks, we could go every week, depending on how many people we kind of have interest in. And Mary from the Affordable Housing Steering Committee has offered to help staff that table as well. But we're just hoping to make it very kid-friendly and get people very excited about what we're doing. While the minimum age to build on site is 16, as Janice says, there are lots of different ways to get involved regardless of ages. This past December, we did a number of gingerbread house builds in local schools, so I'm hoping we can bring that to Cohasset this year. But really, any way, if the community wants to get involved, we're gonna find you guys a way to get involved because it does take a town, a village, etc.
We are going to Rotary sometimes, probably in May, and any other
That's
group,
right.
any other groups that want us to come and talk and tell their members, we'd be happy to go. Well, I don't know about tomorrow, but I'll be happy.
Anywhere Mary goes, I'm going.
So over on the table over there, we have some handouts that you can take with you. There's also 2 pieces of wood. And what we do is you can write a message to the family and that goes into the home. And if you volunteer on the house, once the framing is up, people write messages to the family all throughout the house. And it means a lot to them. So if you'd like to sign the board, we're going to save that for Cohasset. Please help yourself to cookies. And then I was asked to mention that we have a critical home repair program, which is a new program for South Shore Habitat. And this is a program for seniors who are low to moderate income, who would like to age in place but need safety, some safety items. For example, grab bars. We're replacing a floor because this 94-year-old woman will trip. And if she breaks a hip, that's it. We've replaced 2 roofs so far. We're replacing our 3rd roof. We've had some people apply who their insurance companies are not going to insure them because the roof is leaking, their windows are broken, and so we will go in and help them with that. We do ramps. So if you know anybody who's a senior over 60 and needs some help, can find out more about it on our website. But we're trying to have a greater impact in the community. And we realize that it's not just young families who need help. And the way the economy is right now and inflation, it's hard for everybody. Thank you for coming tonight, and we look forward to seeing you at the job site. Or at the ballot.